How do you expect me to stand up when I've been trained not to? Huh? Like, that's something my parents would throw at me. Like, oh, well, why didn't you just say something? Oh, well, because actually throughout my whole childhood, you trained me not to say anything when something was bothering me. That's why. That's why I didn't say anything, because every time I've said something when I've wanted or needed something, I've been punished. I've been hit. You put soap in my mouth. Like, why would I? That would be stupid if I spoke up. That would not be smart. But then it's like my parents, like, they expect me to have, like, they expect me to know what I want, when every time I've tried to get what I want, I've been punished for it. How am I supposed to know what I want to do? Like, in general. How am I supposed to know, like, what I want from a girl, when every time I've wanted anything, I've been punished for it. So I can't even, like, I don't even feel like I can trust myself. Every time, like, it's crazy. It really is crazy. Like, every time I start wanting something, like, I catch myself wanting something, I get scared because my nervous system has been trained to brace for impact anytime I feel like I want something. Because if I get scared every time I want something, then I won't ask. And then I'll be safe at home. Like, how can you expect me to even be passionate about anything? Like, how can my parents expect me to be passionate about anything when I've never been allowed to say what I want? Because that's what life is all about. It's about getting what you want. It is. It absolutely is. Like, you are 10 times happier when you're getting what you want. That's just the truth. But then there's also this, like, there's this frustration whenever, I'm in the workplace or in relationships or friendships, and I there's these little things that bother me, and eventually I just kind of explode. And the people are like, oh, well, why are you telling me just now? Why didn't you tell me sooner? Well, it's because basically the reasoning is because I've been trained not to speak up. So I don't want to speak up unless I absolutely have to. But in reality, I should just be able to speak up immediately. As soon as even the smallest thing bothers me, I should be able to speak up. But it's not fair that I was raised to not speak up for myself, because the truth is, in real life, people do expect you to speak up for yourself. Like, if the kitchen at the restaurant under or overcooked your burger, like, do you think they're going to be pissed if you say something? No, they're not. They're not. They're going to be glad you said something. And, like, what if you got an undercooked burger and you just ate it, and then the waitress finds out? What do you think her reaction would be? She'd be like, why didn't you just tell me? Like, it takes 5 minutes for them to just, less than 5 minutes for them to just get you a new burger, But when you've been trained your whole life, not to speak up because you'll get punished if you do, just small things like that seem extremely difficult, because for your own safety, your nervous system has just learned to not speak your mind to anybody, not just your parents, but not anybody, because you don't know, maybe your parents know these people, and they're going to find out that you spoke your mind and you're going to get punished. It really is like that for some kids, like it was for me. But like, I haven't talked to my parents in a minute. It's probably been a few months now. And even before that, I was only talking to them like once every few weeks. And that's how it was pretty much my whole life. So it's not like much has changed, honestly. But, you know, I can imagine if I were to call them and tell them, like, yeah, I actually regret going to college. I hated all of it. You know, I regret performing so well in high school. I regret overperforming in high school, honestly. You know, I regret not pursuing basketball. I regret not being more of an asshole, more of a jock, honestly. I regret being like a nerd. I regret not taking better care of my appearance. I think my parents would probably be like, "Oh my god, well why didn't you just say something?" Well, it's because from the time I was like 0 years old to like 14 years old, you guys would physically and emotionally punish me anytime I disagreed with anything, even the smallest thing. You guys thought I was like threatening your existence when I was a kid. You know, that's what they would say. And they'd be like, "Oh, well, you could have just said something." No, I couldn't. No, I literally couldn't. You did not create any semblance of a democracy in your house. It was not a place where free speech could exist. All right? Yeah. Like, I was just such a hassle for them, somehow. I was just such a hassle. Like, did you expect me to be like a goldfish where you just feed me, like, once or twice a day and then that's it? That's the last you hear from me? You don't realize that I have interests? Like, I have goals in life. Even if I'm just 12 years old, I do actually have things that I want to do. Besides just eating, sleeping, shitting, and doing homework, you know? It's fucking miserable. Really. Like, like, working a 9 to 5 is not that bad to me because I've been doing that my whole life. You know, even as a kid. You know, I would go to school and then I would come home and I would have homework. Then I would be forced to go to church. And then, yeah, I was working like at least 10-hour days. And I did do it again and again and again for fucking 14 plus years. Shit is brutal. But like, yeah, I just get, you know, I get unfairly angry at society because, you know, society expects you to kind of speak up for yourself or to speak your mind. You know, if you want a change, just ask for a change. If you want to make more money at your job, you know, have you tried asking for more money? If you don't like the schedule you're working, just ask more money. Like that was, I asked for a different schedule. Like that, this is what I would hear from my boss. At my last job, she was like, you know, if you don't like this department, you know, you can just ask to be in a different department. I was like, oh, I didn't even, like, it didn't, the sad thing is it didn't even occur to me. I just had accepted, like, oh no, I just have to deal with this suffering. But in reality, in the real world, if you don't like it, you can just ask to do something else. And there's a good chance that there's someone else that actually would enjoy being in your current position. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you guys can just do a fair trade, you know? It's like, why didn't I ever think of that? Well, it's because I was not allowed to do that, ever. Because, like, when you're not allowed to speak freely or act freely, it fucks with your mind. Like, because then you start to not even think freely. Especially if this happens from, like, a really young age. Because you just start to kind of give up hope. And so you start to, like, as a coping mechanism, your thoughts basically start to align only with your parents' thoughts. Because even the idea of, like, going against them in any way, even if just, like, a thought, is too scary. But really, like, it's a good thing if a kid is a brat. If your kid is bratty, like, kids aren't supposed to be convenient, you know? Like, nobody is supposed to be a convenience to everybody else. Like, that's not how life works. Like, if somebody needs or wants something, they should be able to speak up and say that they want or need it. Like, they shouldn't just be quiet or be silent all the time because they're afraid of inconveniencing people. Like, it's just such, it's so insulting when I think about it, because that's really what my parents were saying to me indirectly. It was like, you know, don't you dare inconvenience us. Like, what? I'm an inconvenience to you? Like, what am I supposed to do when I want something? Just not say anything? Then how is that want gonna get fulfilled? You know? Because it's not. It's not gonna get fulfilled. And I am just gonna become a convenience to you eventually if you suppress my wants and desires enough. And that's just really not fair to me, is it? It's not fair at all. Like, you know what's inconvenient is when, like, that an inconvenience is when a light bulb stops working. An inconvenience is when, like, you lock your keys in the car. Like, your kid wanting something is not an inconvenience. That's like saying that it's an inconvenience when your boss asks you to do your job. Like, if your job is to Like, if your job is to make spreadsheets at work and your boss asks you to make a spreadsheet, is he inconveniencing you? No. He's actually he's conveniencing you. Because he's giving you work so that you can continue to have a job, which means you can continue to get paid, you know? And, like, if you're a parent, you automatically, like, you have at least one job, and that's to be a parent. And then your other job is whatever, if you're working, that would be your other job. So you have at least one job, but if you're, working, then you have two jobs. So, yeah. If your job is making spreadsheets, then, making spreadsheets is not an inconvenience to you because you just expect that. Because that's your job. That's why you're going to work every day. So then when you come home to your kid, to your second job, and they're asking you for stuff, that's normal. That shouldn't be surprising. That is your job, is to give your kids what they want. And you might hear this and be like, oh my God, giving kids what they want? Yeah, what do you like, what is so bad about that? Like, I'm not saying if the kid wants a dog, you give the kid a dog. But generally, you should be, like, helping kids get what they want because they have no other way to get what they want except through you. And don't you want your kids to figure out what they want out of life in general? Like, don't you want your kids to figure out what they enjoy? Like, maybe you don't get your kid a dog, but maybe you take it to, like, a dog shelter. You take your kid to a dog shelter, like, once that month. Like, is that really so bad? Is that really that hard? Like, you signed up for this shit. If you can't handle it, well, why don't you look into, like, actually giving your kid up for adoption to someone who actually wants a kid, Because that's what I wish my parents would have done. Because they really did not give two shits about me or what I wanted. And there are parents out there, there's people out there who can't have kids who would do anything to have a kid, Like, why couldn't I just have been given to one of those families, Like, I don't even recognize my parents as people in my life. Like, they're just It's parents are so weird because it's just two randoms that decided to have sex and then go through with the pregnancy. That's it. That's who your parents are. Like, it's not a long drawn out process like where they put a lot of critical thinking into it. Not for everybody, at least. Like, it is a job. Being a parent is a job. You should want to give your kid what they want, you know? Like, you have money, they don't have money. They have to go through you to get shit. Just give them what they want. Like, it's not like they want, like, are they asking for, like, World War III? Are they asking for genocide of a people group? No, they're asking for, like, a PlayStation. They're asking to, like, play video games or something. And you're telling me, like, oh, they can't look at a screen for too long or otherwise it's going to rot their brain. You just sat there at work for 10 hours looking at a screen. So what are you talking about? You're just making up excuses to make you feel powerful, you know, so that you're just trying to figure out a way to not give your kid what they want so you can kind of feel powerful, feel like you have power over them. Because maybe you feel like you've never had power in your life, and this is the only way you get to have power, is by not giving your kid things they want. Like, if your kid wants... I mean, I'm trying to think of things that kids want that it would be hard to give them, and there's really not that many things. Like, it really is not that hard to just give kids what they want. And really, a lot of it just comes down to attention. Like, yeah, kids are needy for attention because they're a kid. If your kid wants toys, just buy them toys. Like, they're not gonna be in your house forever, you know? Like, this is like a privilege to be able to be the one that's giving them what they want. Because one day they're just gonna be able to get whatever they want on their own and they're not gonna really need you. So just give them what they want now. Like, let them be happy. Give them toys. What's the big deal? I don't get why my parents and my grandparents, they were all like that. They were like, oh, we don't want to give the kids too many toys. Why? Because then they're going to actually start enjoying life? They're actually going to start being happy? And the answer to that is yes, because once you've tasted happiness, you want more of it. You don't want less of it. And so, yeah, they are going to become, quote-unquote, bratty or spoiled whenever you try to take that away from them. And you would do the same thing. Like, if your boss gives you, like, a 10K raise at work, and then he tries to undo that, how are you going to feel? You're not going to be happy. So it's like, yeah, you want your kids to become bratty. Because that just means that kids are protective of their happiness. Like, they want to be happy, and they don't like to be unhappy. Like, that's normal. Like, if you're just wanting your kids to accept unhappiness, that's like what the beginnings of depression look like. Ask me how I know. It's like parents are just trying to find every excuse they can to not give their kids a good life. Like, you can have both. You can have a good life and your kid can have a good life. Like, it doesn't have to be one or the other. Like, hopefully you have enough money to give your kid, like, a video game, and you can also buy yourself a cheeseburger, you know? Like, we're living in very wealthy times compared to, human history. And even if you don't have the ability to get your kid those things, you could at least try to work for it to get your kid those things in the future. You could at least spend time with your kids, play with them. And not play with them because you have to, but play with them because you genuinely want to. And if you don't want to, figure out why you don't want to. And if you just still don't want to, like, why are you even in that kid's life? Find an adoptive family that'll actually want this kid, Because, like, what are you doing forcing yourself to be a parent if you don't want to be a parent? In a world where other people do want to be parents, but don't have the means or the ability to have a kid. Like, I know it's not that simple, but I feel like it kind of is that simple almost. Like, my parents were so strict on me. Anytime I was enjoying something, they just had to, like, squash it. It was so weird. Like, I literally only got 20 minutes of screen time per day. And they would get mad at me and guilt trip me if I, like, played video games for like an hour. And I'm like, that is fucking crazy. Because the thing is, my dad would sit there and play video games for like a whole day. And like, yeah, I get kids' development is important, but like, if video games are legitimately rotting, if video games legitimately have the capacity to rot human brains in any capacity, don't you think it's a bad idea for the breadwinner of our whole family of 5 to be playing video games at all? Don't you think that's pretty dangerous? Of course, it's all, it's all stupid. Video games do not rot your brain. It's just parents who are scared of their kids becoming independent. Or just, happy. It's fucking crazy. It really is crazy. Like, why were they so bent on me liking exactly the same things that they liked? Like, my mom and my dad, they didn't even like the same things as each other. Like, why would they expect me to have the exact same interests as them? Like, my dad guilted me because I didn't like World of Warcraft. He was like, yeah, I had this whole, like, I bought a whole World of Warcraft set or whatever. Like, he bought the disc. I was going to buy you a gaming computer and stuff, but I'm like, what do you want me to do about that, bro? Like, did you just wake up and decide, I'm going to like World of Warcraft today? Or did you stumble upon it and you realize you liked it? Because that's how it is. We don't get to pick our interests. Like, I swear billions of people do not understand that simple concept. Nobody gets to pick their interests or their preferences. Like, you don't pick your favorite color. You just pick the one. Like, your favorite color is just the one that feels right to you, Like, your favorite sport is just the sport that feels right to you. It's the sport that just is the most interesting to you. Like, you don't wake up and do like a whole calculation thing like, basketball is cool, but there's also cricket and there's badminton and rugby and football and soccer. Based on no, you don't do that. You just like flip through the channels and whichever one catches your eye, So for me, I just flipped through the video games, and the one that caught my eye was like NBA 2K or Madden. World of Warcraft did not catch my eye at all. It didn't look interesting to me. I can't help it. I'm sorry, I'm not the one that made my brain. You should blame yourself. You're the one that put your genetics with my mom's genetics and then made me. Like, you're the one that rolled the dice here. Did you think you were getting a clone? Because that's not how like making a child works. It's not a clone of anybody. It's a randomization of two people's genetics. All right? But I could say that literally a million times and people would still disagree with me and be like, and just dig their heels in. Like, no, you do get to pick your interests. No, you don't. You don't. Nobody does. You don't get to, like, you don't, like, if you're walking down the street, you don't just look at a random girl and say, that is my type now. You don't do that. You can't. You can't just switch your type on the spot. Like, I didn't get to pick the type of girl that I was interested in. I didn't get to pick the fact that I was attracted to girls. Like, I didn't wake up when I was, 12 years old or whatever and decide, or even earlier than that. I didn't decide at like 10 years old that, I'm going to have a sexual preference for women. That never happened. That never happened. I'm going to decide that I am not sexually attracted to men. That never happens. And if you said that that happened to you, you're lying. You're probably secretly gay. Because nobody does that. Like, you don't sit there in kindergarten and go, I dislike gray, I dislike orange, I dislike yellow, I dislike green. The color that I'm going to choose to like for the rest of my life is blue. Like, you don't do that. You just see all the colors and you're like, I like blue. That color's me. Like that, I just vibe with it, And you don't like pick your feelings, But like my parents couldn't understand that. A lot of people don't understand that. But like people, I swear it's parents who are just chronic losers. Parents who are losers. They're the ones that do this. Parents who are so insecure about not having control over their life that they feel like they have to control their kids just to have some small amount of control over their little world. They have to control their kids. It's like, why? Why do you feel like you need to control your kids? What are they going to do? Stay up late? Yeah, that's a self-correcting problem. They're going to eat too many cookies? Self-correcting problem. They're going to like scrape their knee? Self-correcting problem. They're going to get in an argument with a kid? Self-correcting problem. Like you actually really do not have to discipline your kids that much for them to just turn out fine. You can just literally just support them. I don't know what people think is going to happen if they don't discipline their kids. Like, what does that mean? Like, yeah, they're not going to, like, maybe if you don't force your kid to do all of their homework, they're not going to be particularly good in a subject. But nobody is good at every subject. Like, it's not even a requirement of life. The real world does not require you to be good at every subject. In fact, I don't even need any subject to be good at my current job at all. Like, I don't even have to be good at math. I just have to be decent at reading. That's it. Like, I use like middle school, junior high level reading at my job. And that's it. Like, there literally is no reason for you to be pressuring your kid to be good at school. Just let them do what they want to do in school. Honestly. Like, as long as they graduate, they're going to be fine. And anything other than that, like if you're really that scared, you have a control issue. You're insecure about something. You're probably afraid. I think a lot of people are just afraid of their kids coming out happier than they are. Honestly. That's probably what it was with my parents. They were like, because both my parents have been unhappy their entire life, and they've lied to themselves about it and tried to trick themselves into thinking that they're happy when they're actually not. And so to have a kid and then that kid is just naturally happy as soon as it pops out of the womb, it probably would feel threatening to them, because happiness is just freedom. And it's like, if you're a slave and you see someone else that is just completely free, you kind of low-key hate them a little bit, like that's not fair. And so that's what my parents did to me. They're like, we're slaves to our own misery, so you have to be here with us too. That's what it is. Because like, why is that the first thing that comes to mind with having a kid? Is like, how can I discipline them? Because that's really just saying, how can I restrict them? Why do you want to restrict your kids? Like, why don't you want to support their curiosity? Oh no, if I'm not strict enough on my kid, he's going to find naked pictures on the internet. Oh my god, oh no. Why are we acting like that's on the same level as, like, them smoking crack or something? Oh no, a naked person. Oh no. Literally, like, not a big deal at all. Oh no, they looked at a naked member of their own species. Oh no, they are actually a normal, healthy human being that has sexuality. Good, that is good news. Like, that is very good news. That's no hate to people that are asexual, but I'm just saying it's like, it's not unhealthy to have a sex drive. Thank God people have sex drives so that we can continue the human species, okay? But it's like, oh, as soon as the kid gets a sex drive, let's act like that's the worst thing in the world. No. You should be like, yeah. Yeah, aren't women's bodies awesome? Like, why do we have to shut this down? Yes, women's bodies are awesome. Women are cool. That would be my conversation with my son if I caught him looking at pornography. Like, yeah, sex is pretty cool. Women are pretty cool. Alright. Because I don't think it's realistic. Like, you're telling me we're going to expect kids who have a sex drive, a real sex drive, we're going to expect them to just never think about sex, never get horny, never look at sexual images, all the while we're not allowing them to do anything sexual at all ever. That's not realistic. It's not. Because, I mean, I'm here at 24 years old. Like, if I'm not having sex, it's not realistic to expect me to never, like, do anything that would simulate sex, you know? Like, why do we act like sex is such this, like, I think it's definitely part of where I grew up. Like, supporting your kids' sex drive and sexual interests doesn't mean that you're telling them to go out and impregnate a girl. Like, hopefully you're educating your kid better than that. And is it really a bad thing if there's, like, 13-year-olds out there having protected sex? Like, why is that so bad? Like, if it's happening consensually. Truth is, it's not bad at all. It just scares parents who have never been that happy in their life, who were never that happy at 13 years old. So they don't want to see their kids be happy at 13 years old when they never got to live that, because they're so fucking insecure. Because honestly, the more I watch, like, I guess, porn, the more I watch porn, the more I realize how harmless it is. Like, if you're a woman and you're saying that your boyfriend has a porn addiction, is that true, or is he just not having sex enough, honestly? Does he have a porn addiction, or is his sex drive just like 10 times higher than yours? And then you're trying to make him feel bad about it when you're actually the one without a sex drive, you know? Like, what do you expect him to do? You know, because, you know, it's not like rape is not an acceptable alternative here. So what do you expect this red-blooded, healthy male to do whenever he wants to have sex 10 times a week and you want to have sex 1 time per week? Like, nobody is in the wrong. You know, you guys just aren't sexually compatible. And that can be a hard thing for people to accept, I'm sure. Because I'm sorry, like, I don't have a girlfriend right now, but, you know, if I did, like, I'm the kind of guy that wants to have sex probably, like, every day of the week or so. And if she wants to have sex only 1 day out of the month, you know, that's fine. But first of all, you know, we're not going to last that long. And second of all, you're not going to, like, you don't get to tell me what to do with my body, you know? And it seems like Like women are really big advocates of, let me do what I want with my body. But men can't do the same thing. Like I'm not allowed to just jerk off whenever I want to. Like why is it a big deal if I look at naked people on my phone? Like do you think I'm going to go have a relationship with them? Is that what you think is going to happen? It's like, oh, well, you're watching videos of people having sex. Yes, because I want to have sex. But I respect your boundaries and I'm not going to do that, but I still want to have sex. And my imagination can only work so hard. My imagination can only do so much. It's so weird. It's like adults. The reason adults do it to their kids is because adults do it to themselves. They just choose to restrict themselves. They choose to say, this thing would actually be really fun and really cool, and I'm just not going to let myself do it. This perfectly natural thing. I don't know that. I don't know that we're all meant to be monogamous and married to the same person for the rest of our lives. Yeah, maybe some people want to do that, but that doesn't mean that everyone has to do that. Again, it's the thing with the preferences and interests. It's like, if you're interested in being married to the same person for the rest of your life, why would I stop you from doing that? Okay, but if I don't want to do that, why would I be forced to do that? That doesn't benefit me, and it doesn't benefit the person that I would be in the relationship with. You think it's better that they're with someone that doesn't want to be in a permanent relationship with them than if they were just in someone that wanted to be in a permanent relationship with them? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. Why are we so obsessed with just putting these rules on ourselves that aren't necessary? Aren't necessary at all. And I get, you want stability. You want stability, for the kid, if there's a kid in this whole ordeal. But you're telling me two adults can't be mature enough to be separated and still take care of the kid? I get it's going to look different, but hopefully you love your kid enough to be willing to jump over a couple hurdles. I don't think it would be that hard, really. I'll have to make a separate video about this, but I don't get the whole idea of staying together for the kids. Both of the parents have jobs. What's stopping one of the parents from just getting an apartment or something or a house in the same city? And if you guys want to be together or something for a week or so, they can, one of the parents can just go to the other's house and be with the kids there. It's if I feel like people haven't even thought of these options. But you can do that, you can do that. Why do two people in a committed relationship even have to live in the same house? Or why do they have to be in the same bedroom? And listen, I get it. I get that you personally enjoy being in the same house as your spouse, permanently. And I get that you guys like being in the same room and sharing all of your personal space all the time. I hear that you enjoy that, and that's fine. But I don't want to do that. And so there shouldn't be anything wrong with me not doing that. I don't get why. I feel like people like me just get ostracized. What? Oh my God, you're crazy. It's why does it matter? It's fine if you think I'm crazy, but I'm not trying to make you be like me. I'm not asking that you be like me at all. But I think that's what people think, is whenever you want to be a way that's a little bit different than them, they're assuming that you're going to try to make them be like you. Because that's probably why they are the way they are, is because they were forced to be that way or pressured to be that way. So it's just normal to them. crazy. The whole like peer pressure, social pressure thing is just really unnecessary, honestly. Like even back in the beginnings of human civilization, was it really necessary to force people to live a certain way? Like, why can't you just accept that they like the color blue instead of the color pink? Or that they want to dress this way but not that way? You know, it doesn't even make sense, really. I think it was just a matter of stupid people being in charge. You know, or the really tall and big people being stupid, and they were the ones in charge of society because no one could really fight them on it. So whatever they said, you know, goes. Like you can just figure out so many stupid things, stupid like rules or expectations that exist, just by asking like why they exist. Like why aren't women allowed to grow out their armpit hair or their leg hair? And the answer to that is like, oh, because it's not pretty, or it's not feminine. Why? Why is it not feminine? Because it's not? That doesn't even make sense. Like, if they are literally naturally growing hair on their legs, that literally is feminine. Because feminine means it's like part of the female nature. And they naturally grow leg hair on their female body. So I don't get how that even makes sense, that would not be feminine or beautiful or whatever. Like, what? And it's like something, that's one thing that I've sat with for a second, and I'm like, do I really care if a girl has like armpit hair or leg hair? Like, that to me is just such a bizarre thing to care about. Or even like if she had facial hair. Like, why are we acting like hair isn't perfectly normal? You know, it doesn't even make sense to me. It's crazy. Like, I know girls who are even like insecure about having arm hair. Like, women are allowed to have hair here, here, here. They're allowed to have like peach fuzz. But, like, why does it stop there? That's so arbitrary to me. And there's not a good reason for it, really. Like, I think I would rather be with a confident, bearded lady than an insecure, shaved lady. Yeah, but I think it all comes down to jealousy, really. People being jealous of other people's independence and happiness and ability to break free. Because like I said before, like if you're a slave to your own misery, then it probably pisses you off to see people just out there living life and being happy and making it work, because you probably were told for your whole life that that wasn't even possible. And so it's like, it fills you with an insane amount of rage and anger and jealousy to see other people just, you know, living life however they want to. And maybe you've wasted 50, 60, 70 years of your life being miserable because that's what your parents pressured you to do. And so instead of getting angry at your parents, because you probably were never allowed to get angry at your parents, you get angry at the people that are living life without being chained. You know, like just like how people dislike other, like just like how some straight people dislike gay people. It does not even, it really makes zero sense if you think about it for 5 seconds. Like, are gay people asking you to be gay? Are they turning you gay? No. Like, the only reason you would want gay people to stop being gay is if they're reminding you of your own gayness or something. And then that scares you, and it angers you to think that you could be gay. And so instead of taking it out on your parents, because you were never allowed to do that, you take it out on the gay people, and just rinse and repeat for every prejudice out there. It's like, it's just inconceivable to some people that, like, two different people can just be allowed to be happy at the same time. Like, you guys can like two completely different things, and you guys can still both be happy. Like, you can just let gay people be gay, and they're not going to try to spread their gay on you. Like, they're not going to try to turn you gay. Like, if you're not gay, they genuinely are not interested in you, Like, they're just going about minding their business. It's like if you're you're a guy that likes blue, and there's another guy out there that likes pink or something. It's like if I like pink and you like blue, like, why would I be trying to convince you to like pink? Like, if you like blue, that's fine. You can just like blue. That's it. Like, we can both just like our own colors. Like, It's like, why would I be anti-blue? It doesn't make sense. But it really is eye-opening. It's life-changing, honestly, when you realize that you don't have to have the same preferences and interests as everybody else. Because then it reminds me of that quote, "Live and let live," and it really is like very much true. And it's very much generally a very healthy way to live life. Like, if you see someone else living a life that you don't want to live, you don't have to live it. You don't have to do that. And for me, that is so freeing. It's like, you don't have to understand it. If someone out there likes working 80 hours a week in an office doing finance, you don't have to understand that. You don't have to understand it past the point of just understanding that that's what they like to do. Like, they're going to look at you the same and be like, man, I don't understand how they could possibly like being a waiter at a restaurant for their whole life. That's fine. I'm not asking you to understand me. I'm just asking you to understand that this is what I want to do. And it ends there. That's been like, I'm still like just now realizing that. It's like, oh my God, like, you don't have to be like everybody else, just like everybody else doesn't have to be like you, Like, that doesn't even make sense. Society wouldn't work. Society wouldn't work if everybody did what everybody else was doing, Like, we need people that specialize in different things. Like, if everybody was an engineer, or if everybody was a doctor, then we wouldn't have all the other professions. Like, we wouldn't have cars, because we need people to make cars, So it's like, why would I be so pressed about turning my son into a certain career field? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, my only concern is that he has a career, period, a job, period. And if he has a job, then he has an important job. There's no such thing as an unimportant job, because the only way a job exists is if someone is paying you to do it for them because they want someone to do it. And that's literally what every job is. Like, there aren't unimportant jobs. Like, I guess you can start arguing about, oh, well, this job is more important than the other job, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but generally, like, all jobs have some level of importance to it. Otherwise, the job wouldn't exist. Like, why? Like, life really is not that complicated. Like, life really is just as simple as doing what makes you happy. Just be happy. Like, do what you feel like doing right now. And I feel like I shouldn't have to say, like, yeah, as long as you're not hurting anyone else. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, my ears are itchy and I don't know why. Hmm. But yeah, how can my parents expect me to have, you know, how can my parents expect me to be happy when they never let me be happy? How can they expect me to know what I want to do with my life when they never let me do anything that I wanted to do? How can they expect me to have figured out what I'm doing with my life if they never let me do any of the figuring out part? If they never let me do any experimenting, you know? Like now I'm having to do all the experimenting when I'm in my 20s. That's just not a good way. That's stupid, you know? It's backwards. There's just so many scared parents out there. Scared. So many people are scared of being alone out there. I think that's what it was like for my parents. It's like you see a kid become happy and that kind of starts to bleed into like them becoming independent. If they realize they can be happy without having to be under your rule, then that's like them becoming independent in a way, and that's scary because then they might not really need you. And hopefully you don't want your kids to need you. It's kind of like some Stockholm syndrome type shit. It's kind of twisted, you know. Like I want you to be happy insofar as you give me all the credit and always come running back to me. It's like, yeah, that's not going to work. That's just going to mean that I'm never going to talk to you. But like if you genuinely supported my happiness and my independence, why wouldn't I talk to you? Why wouldn't I like you? But again, like you're not thinking when you're someone that is just deeply afraid of being alone, you're not thinking rationally. But both of my parents were like deathly terrified of being alone because there's like some triggering childhood trauma that they never resolved. And so they both stayed in a miserable relationship because both of them were afraid of ever leaving and being out on their own. And they were like, they're in their 50s. It's just disgusting.